Start this what if. This is what if Deku had explosion of quirk. Part 3. We left off after Bako and him got into UA and they did the quirk test exam thing. I forgot what it is. But it's a day later or so, something like that. All Might comes in saying, "I am here as your combat destructor." He would instruct them to put on their hero outfits and to go outside and get ready for a battle. And get ready. So Deku's hero suit. Deku knew that Bakugo was going to go for an explosion thing for his suit and all that. Like a grenade theme. And he didn't want to go for the whole big grenade on his wrist, but he did get this sweat chamber that Bakugo has, but different. He has a smaller version that goes on his wrist still, and he has it stored up into grenades also, actual grenades, where he doesn't just have to rely on using the pin on his wrist. So yeah, he would have a special gauntlet on his wrist for one of his moves, and he would have braces on his arms and for his explosions. But the match would be chosen as Bako with Ida, with Deku and Uraraka going to fight against each other. Whenever they start the match, Bakugo, you would hear an explosion would happen. Get ready, and Bakugo would explode off while Deku and Uraraka would go into the area. While they're going up, Deku's forming a plan for them to go one-on-one against each other. And all that, to take out one and the other one. So, yeah. The plan would go whenever Bakugo appears in front of them, with Deku taking his hand, saying flash. He shoots a very weak explosion, but very wide one, which is pretty much only light-based, which would blind Bakugo for a second. Then Deku would punch him with an explosion, sending him backwards into a wall. Bakugo would explode back, swinging his hand, throwing a big explosion, which would hit Deku, but Deku would get knocked back, of course, but he would rebound with his own explosion. He would put his hands out, saying stream, or exploding stream. That long-range explosion that I made up, I'm just going to call it stream from now on. And he would shoot it with the blast getting shot directly towards Bakugo. With Bakugo dodging it, since you can see the explosions, but whenever he dodges, it would hit his shoe, exploding it off of him. Deku would use another flash again and dash towards him and start punching him, while Bakugo would put his hands, grabbing him from the backing, flipping over him, shooting an explosion. Deku would rebound, and what Bakugo would see next to him are two grenades with two pins in Deku's mouth. They would let off with two explosions popping out of them, hitting Bakugo back and forth. And he'd be sitting there with his two gauntlets, he would rise up. His hero suit would be ripped apart with this mask, and he would pull his gauntlets, saying, "Take this, Deku." He would shoot it, and it would go past him. It would hit Deku, launching him back, but he took most of the force with his hand. Then he would be beat up, but Deku would have took out 2 more grenades, throwing it at Bakugo. And since Bakugo is already worn out from the other 2, he'll be finished off by these 2 explosions. While Deku is down there, injured from the force of his 2 gauntlets. Now it's to Uraraka. In Uraraka's case, right now, the explosion that Bakugo threw and Deku would cause part of the ground to break apart in front of her. Well, she would take a pole, saying "Star Meteor" or something like that, hitting it, and this end result would pretty much let the hero team win. So yeah. So they'll still be declared the winners, but Ida would be declared the real winner since he acted like a villain. Bakugo rushed out of there without a plan, so he got an F on that. Uraraka used a dangerous move, and Deku was throwing grenades with explosions. I guess he wouldn't do too much damage to the ground. It was mostly Bakugo's massive explosion with its grenades, which caused the problem. So Ida and Deku would get the points for that grade. But yeah, that'll be the end of that. Of course, both of them would be rushed to the infirmary, with both of them passed out. They would get there, and in the infirmary, the cover girl would kiss them. After the day is about to have the end, where they can get back to stamina, and they'll be back to normal. They would go back home, and yeah, that'll be the end of it. They would go to UA for a while, until one day Aizawa comes up to them saying that you need to pick a class president, vice president, and a representative. So what would happen is the debate over the president would be solved as Ida, and the representative would have to be chosen between Bakugo and Deku, since Todoroki is strong, but he doesn't want to be the representative. And they see Bakugo and Deku as the stronger ones, and they can't design. So what happens between Bakugo and Deku is that they schedule a full-on battle in the arena, and Aizawa would say sure, but the conditions are no hero items, no support items, and we're just going to do a power test. Which Bakugo thinks he's going to win since he focuses on power all the time. They would get out there and it'll be time. So the test is their normal explosions. Whenever they, like how Bakugo swings his hands and throws one. That's it. So close range explosions. Deku would get ready for his strongest attack, close range, and he would throw a punch. Since that's how Deku's explosion quirk kind of works, is that he can throw a punch against something and he can explode it, since he practiced doing this. And he would break the dummy completely. So would Bakugo, which they don't know whose were stronger. So they would have to go on again to a bigger target. This time, I would say it would be a giant robot, I'll say the 0 pointer, and they are told to punch it or explode it. They would do it. Bakugo put his hands together, throwing a massive explosion, which would break apart most of it. And Deku would get ready for another punch. And yeah, I would say the winner of this one would be Deku, since he exploded the middle part out, while Bakugo did do a wider range of explosion. So he explode parts of the robot, not in just one spot, unlike how Deku did it. People can tell that Bakugo goes for pretty much wild attacks that if somebody tries to dodge, they'll get hit, while Deku is more for a direct attack. Next one, it'll be mid-range. And what would happen is Bakugo would use Hudson Impact, which you guys could say is a close range, but I feel like the explosion that he shoots off at the ends is more like a mid-range attack, which the target would be the 0 pointer again, which would break it down completely. Deku doesn't really have any mid-range attacks. He has a far-range one, but he comes up with one. He would put his hand to the ground, and he would throw an explosion, uprooting it, and you get ready for another explosion, palming the rock that he just uprooted, exploding it off, smashing into a 0 pointer, knocking it over, which they would say that Bakugo would win in that one, since Deku doesn't really have any special mid-range attacks, and he kind of just used one. Far range, as you guys know, Deku would win this one, since his far range attack would be much farther than Bakugo's AP shot, and it would probably do more damage, since it's like him punching somebody up close. So yeah, he would win that one. Then it would come to endurance, which they would be told to shoot those rapid fire explosions that they can do, which I would say Deku would win, since martial arts training. So I would say overall they would go for the calmest person, since they're supposed to be representing Class 1A, and that would be Deku. This would end, and it'll be time for lunch. Going to lunch, the alarm would be set off, telling all the UA students that there's supposedly a villain on campus. Everybody would freak out, and instead of Ida stopping them or anything like that, I'll say Bakugo would get annoyed, and you'd throw an explosion, make everybody turn back while everybody's coming down. Deku and Ida would explain what's going on, that there's no villains, and people would be calmed down. And then they would get ready to go on their field trip, sort of, to the USJ, and this is where I'll end it off. Goodbye.